This patient is the fattest man I've ever seen in my life. His name is George Lehman, and he's got fat folds on his belly that are so deep, I think I could stick my whole fist inside. Hell, I think I could stick my whole arm inside. I think I might be able to set up a tent in his belly button with an adjacent fireplace. The nurses had to get him an extra large bed because the regular hospital beds were too small to fit his massive frame. Before we got him in the bed, the nurses weighed Mr. Lehman on our bariatric scale. It's a scale we use for people who are either really obese or in a wheelchair. The scale has a platform that's about the size of an elevator, and you can wheel or waddle onto it. We got a weight for Mr. Lehman and used it to calculate his body mass index, BMI. The BMI is a calculation based on a patient's weight and height, and tells us scientifically exactly how fat a patient is. For example, before I started medical school, my BMI was 24. That put me square in the middle range of normal. Now, less than 1 month into my intern year, my BMI is 26, which puts me just on the edge of overweight, kind of like the rest of the country. If I continue to eat primarily junk food, which is likely given how the last few weeks are going, I might get up to 30, which would make me officially obese. Mr. Lehman's BMI is about 5 trillion. Not really, but it's high. He's what we'd call morbidly obese. That's a real medical diagnosis, you know. It's not just something you say to make fun of the fat kid in the playground. I've been sitting here talking to Mr. Lehman for about 30 minutes, scribbling notes on a piece of paper about his heart disease, his medications, his other medical problems. I actually sort of like the guy. He's got a big, toothy smile, and he calls me honey. I should probably be insulted by the honey thing since he's supposed to call me doctor, and he's just being disrespectful and sexist. But at this hour of the morning, any kind words make me feel a little less awful. My senior resident, Alyssa, particularly dislikes obese patients. When the emergency room calls her about an obese patient, she sighs extra loudly. I'm not as bothered, and it's not just because I automatically like anything that makes Alyssa unhappy, but I figure nobody gets to 600 pounds just by eating a bunch of bacon double cheeseburgers. People who are that big must have a disease, just like the patients with pancreatic cancer or multiple sclerosis. And I'm not going to throw stones. After all, I like my bacon double cheeseburgers too. Do you have any more questions, sweetheart? Mr. Lehman asks me. I've now graduated to sweetheart. He's making me feel all of 12 years old. I look down at my page of chicken scratch. I can make out exactly 5 words on the page. I've been a doctor less than a month, and I already got the handwriting down pat. No, I think that'll be all, I say. Then I add, for now.